Hello race fans and welcome to Apex Racing TV. First of all, apologies, we've had a few technical issues here in the booth which has delayed us getting on air, but I hope you have enjoyed the opening action here at the wonderful Zandvoort circuit here on the wonderful Holland sunny seaside. This is the Formula Racing Challenge with Dallara Formula 3 cars. As you'll see, the bottom left of your screen here, we have Dennis Hogger, number 6, an FIA Formula 3 driver who is currently holding on to third place for the Danish driver. As you'll see on the top left-hand side of your screen, we have 30 minutes of action around this Zandvoort circuit, built into the wonderful sand dunes of the Dutch coast, and of course this year has been remastered and rebuilt to host Formula 1 racing. Of course, Holland, a nation always keen on motorsport, but with the rise of the meteoric rise of Max Verstappen, the Red Bull Formula 1 driver, has basically sent the nation into absolute mania for Formula 1, and hence we now have a Grand Prix track ready to go at the circuit Zandvoort. So we're heading down here into turn 1, really late on the brakes into that hairpin bend, down to second gear, and then back hard on the power. Got a really close race going on here to begin with Horsten, the Kiwi, in first place right now, with local driver, a local Dutch driver, in second place. So there you are, Bart Horsten and Sam Kuijtert, number 28, local Dutch driver, SRKC double champion, chasing down in second position, just over 6/10 of a second in arrears. Really tricky circuit here at Zandvoort. Can be quite low grip at times. Of course, it's right by the seaside, so you do get a little bit of sand, a little bit of loose debris coming onto the track, which makes it quite tricky for our drivers here at Zandvoort. For those looking to see where their favourite driver is, you can look at our SDK Gaming track map, which is in the top right-hand side of your screen here. So what you'll see here is that the leading drivers are actually coming up behind lap traffic already. That's the 18th position driver of Chauvet. We've got a crasher there as well, coming off around the final corner. That final section there at Zandvoort, it's a double apex right-hander where the aerodynamics of the Dallara Formula 3 cars really come in handy. And now we've got Sam Kuijtert out in front. Let's see if we get a replay of what happened there. So that's your race leader, Bart Horsten, just gets on the curbs on the entry and then into the sand trap, loses the other drivers do an exceptional job not to collect with Horsten there, but Horsten, the race leader, out of the race and is rejoined in 12th place after that incident. What a pity for the number 50 man, but good news for Dutch fans watching. Sam Kuijtert out in front at, I'm sure, the very familiar Zandvoort circuit, now with nearly a second advantage after that incident. But it could have been absolute catastrophe there for all of this front group there, because that's kind of a blind corner there where there was the accident there. So really exciting stuff here in the early stages of this Formula 3 race. Looking at third place man, Jack Crawford, number 52 from the United States of America. Of course, most American single-seater drivers, you usually see them focusing towards motorsport in the United States of America, and usually heading towards the IndyCar paddock if successful. But Jack obviously taking a slightly different approach to his single-seater career, racing in the Italian Formula 4 Championship and in the German Formula 4 as well. Fastest lap of the race from Kuijtert there, the Dutchman. He obviously doesn't want to hang about. He's dropped underneath the 1:29 barrier. That's a seriously quick lap here around the Zandvoort circuit. We're riding on board with Victor Anderson. This will give you a great look at just how high a commitment circuit Zandvoort is. The Swede here, number 20. So we're heading up here, staying in the draft of the cars in front, nearly up to top gear here as they head into this really quick right-hander where you take a deep breath in and commit, proper commitment corner here, and then into the blind entry of the next right-hander. just clipping the curb on the right-hand side and then hard on the brakes. Easy to lose it on the brakes there. Comes down a couple of gears and then back on the gas again, past one of the marshal's post there on the left. This track here, on this corner, this left-hander, I cannot get this corner right on iRacing, but Victor Anderson giving us a masterclass in how to take that corner correctly. Now, look at the track map on the top right-hand side of your screen there. The leading pack are now coming up behind more lap traffic. 17th place of Chauvet, the Frenchman. We're now on board with Koiter. As you can see, there you go. There's the lap traffic up in front. So Sam Koiter, the Dutchman, he is going to be right on top of that lap traffic before too long. And of course, at Zandvoort, there's certain parts of this track which are really one line, and it's very tricky to get past. Fantastic stuff. Zandvoort, one of my favourite circuits on iRacing in the world, and it's brilliant to see it getting so much investment to host Formula One racing. It's a shame it didn't happen as scheduled this year, but I'm sure we will get there soon enough. So Sam Koiter, not quite on top of this lap traffic just yet, but I'm sure it won't take long at the pace that he's putting together in that number 28 car. Of course, every driver here in an identical car. Dallara Formula 3 chassis. Of course, Dallara, a legendary race car manufacturer based in Italy, and are involved in the manufacture of some of the greatest race cars ever made. And of course, Mr. Dallara still puts in the same amount of passion that he always did. And I remember reading a fantastic interview with him in Motorsport magazine. You must look it up, about Mr. Dallara, and his passion and his humility, considering the success of his business, is extraordinary. So that's the car that we're using here, the Dallara Formula 3 car. So there's Dennis Hauger, the Norwegian, I think I called him Danish, I hope nobody noticed that. Number 6, the Norwegian Dennis Hauger, he's not letting go in that lovely kind of green and orange paint scheme car. Kind of is almost a Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine paint scheme there. With the number 52 right behind him. So now our driver's now starting to come below that 1 minute 29 barrier, really starting to reduce the fuel load in these Dallara Formula 3 cars. The tyres normally are pretty steady in these Dallara Formula 3 cars. You can make them last over the race, so it shouldn't be too much of a problem for our drivers. So there's Jack Crawford, the American, fastest lap of the race, a 1 minute 28.829. So he's the fastest man on track. So he is on the move, the American Jack Crawford. You see his photograph there at the bottom left of the screen. Running the number 52, of course, a number quite famous in the motorcycling world, with James Toseland, double world superbike champion, and latterly Danny Kent, the 2015 Moto3 champion. But of course, we are running 4 wheels today, not 2, but Jack Crawford running that 52. It's still Koiter out front by 0.8 of a second. Probably need to be under half a second to really get the benefit of the draft here. And of course, at Zandvoort, there's only really one proper straightaway, which is this part here, which we're just coming onto the front stretch now, onto the whole. This is the upper slipstream from the car in front. So 9 laps down of this race, 12 minutes down. Back to Bart Horston. Now look at Bart Horston. He was your leader, the British Formula 3 driver. British Formula 3 long been known as the premier Formula 3 category in the world. Of course, drivers like Daniel Ricciardo, Nick Tandy, amongst many, many others, came through the ranks of British Formula 3. But Bart Horston, the number 50, he was leading the race, had a spin. What luckily wasn't collected by the cars behind him, who did a great job to avoid him. But he's back now to 10th position, so he's climbing back up the field. Now, what has happened here? What has happened to Koiter? Dennis Hauger is in the lead. Let's see what's happened to Koiter. We're going to get a replay now, thanks to our wonderful production team. Number 28, Sam Koiter. This is the fast section here. Is he going to run wide? Clips the grass on the inside, and whoa, he's out of there. Does very, very well to keep that out of the wall. Barely loses much time at all. Wow. What a moment there for Sam Koiter. That would have been huge on board there for the Dutchman. that'll take a couple of corners just to catch his breath again. So for Hauger, for the Norwegian, that is just a dream scenario. And of course, Cranford only 0.4 of a second behind. So this race is right on now. Fantastic. And look at that, Bart Horston now up to 9th place. So he is very much on the move. And well, let's see how far he can make it up here in this race. So Kleutert still in a podium position. Amazingly, only 1.4 seconds behind the leader, even after that massive moment into the grass at one of the fastest sections in the entire course. So there's Jack Crawford, number 52, chasing down, and he has reduced that gap to Hauger. He really has. That's fantastic for him. Number 52 in that sort of plain white paint scheme car, chasing down Hauger in the Norwegian car. Through they go then through this really tight section here, down to about second gear, back on the power, managing the wheel spin on the exit. Now the next section is really, really tricky. You're braking blind into this really tight right and then left section. So you've got to watch it over the curbs, not get caught for track limits there. But this battle for the lead is really, really hotting up now. Absolutely nothing to separate these two drivers, just a quarter of a second. But as you can see on screen, it's incredibly close. Now here we come then onto the front straight. Hauger definitely at risk here from Crawford in the number 52 for the draft. Now, will Crawford have a look? There's a good chance on the brakes here. Is he going to have a look? Have a go? Oh, Hauger very much on the limit there of moving under braking. That was a really strong defensive move there from Hauger. So, that's gonna raise the temperature in Crawford's helmet. That's for sure. Round the hairpin we go. Really important to get a good exit out of here because it's a big drag up the hill. Right up through the gearbox here of these Dallara Formula 3 cars. Brilliant stuff. You're seeing the cream of the single-seater racing crop here racing around a proper old-school circuit. That's the thing that I love about circuits like Zandvoort. You know, if they were building a circuit from scratch, they wouldn't build it like this anymore. It follows the contours of the land, of course, on the beautiful north coast of Holland. Oh, we've lost Chris. That's Victor Anderson there running. This is going to see what he does here. He might have clipped the curb on the inside of that right-hander, but we've just lost our TV feed. Bear with us a second, folks. So here he goes now, Victor Anderson. He's got back going again. Yeah, as I say, Zandvoort circuit based in the north coast of Holland. Very much a seaside resort town. And wonderful, beautiful sand dunes here in Zandvoort. And of course, the circuit winds its way around those sand dunes. And actually, although there's been some reprofiling of the circuit for the Formula One, its original character is still maintained. Now, look at this. Crawford looking to go round the outside there of Hauger. I don't think that fits there. But, there's nothing. Right on the bumper. That would be... Wow. Here we go then. Down into the hairpin. And look at that, Jack Crawford really hassling Hauger now in the number 52 machine of Jack Crawford, really on the case of Hauger here, right in the slipstream. He's making himself very visible in Hauger's mirror. He goes to the outside around the fastest point on the circuit. That's a big move to go around there, but he's really making Hauger sweat here, making him know that he's there, and he wants past that number 52 American driving beautifully. But look what this is allowing to do. Here comes Kleutert. Kleutert, the Dutchman, he's made his big mistake, but he is looking to avenge that mistake. He's now right on the back of Crawford now as well. As Crawford and Hauger battle one another, you'll see that is just allowing Kleutert to grab that little bit of extra time back as we head down into the final section here, the double right-hander, using all the lovely aerodynamics of these Dallara Formula 3 chassis. Really massive commitment here. Got to have a strong neck in the real world there, but thankfully don't need to worry about that on iRacing. We've got slower traffic coming up here. The 14th place driver coming round turn 1 right now, and this is just the point where they don't want to come across lapped traffic. Look at this now. Dennis Hauger He's still holding that lead. He's still defending from the number 52 of Crawford. And in third, it's Coitert. But Coitert really catching up now. He's almost in the draft now of Crawford. And here they come up towards this lap traffic now. Are they going to get let by? Is the 14th place car going to allow them to come through easily? They're right on top of them now as they come into this fast right-hander. Great discipline there from the number 24 of Philip Ugran. Well done. Oh no, but he's held up Coitert. He's held up Coitert. I don't think it was intentional at all, but Coitert just held up slightly there. That could be crucial as we're in lap 13 now and nearly 19 minutes gone of this race. Wow, great stuff. So, back at the front then, Dennis Hauger, number 6, the Norwegian. Not too many elite Norwegian drivers out there, so Dennis Hauger flying the flag for his country incredibly well here on the Dutch seaside. If you ever travel to the Dutch seaside here at Zandvoort, I could highly recommend it. They have wonderful fried fish here on the coast, which they call kibbeling. Some lovely fried fish, which makes for a nice tasty snack when you're going to Zandvoort to watch wonderful motor racing like this. Now, fastest lap of the race from Crawford, a 1 minute 28.7. So Crawford really meaning business here. So he is right on top of Hauger. This is a brilliant race, and Hauger's on the grass. That's going to give Crawford the run. But Crawford's on the grass. That's so narrow through there. Is Crawford going to make it through? Will he get the room from Hauger? It looks like he has. Wow, that was just a mistake on exit there from Hauger. It's so easy to do. You've got such a fast exit. Considering it's a hairpin bend there, it's such a fast exit for these cars. And look at the wheel. Look at the rear right wheel of Hauger. Hauger's had contact. That wheel is not looking right at all. It might be a glitch, but that rear right wheel on Hauger's Dallara looks very second-hand indeed. But weirdly, it doesn't seem to be causing him too much issue. He's still right on the back. I don't know perhaps the iRacing system here. We will get back to you on that. It doesn't appear normally yes, it has sorted itself out there. It looked like Hauger had taken some damage to the rear right corner, but he's let Coitert through there, ran wide onto the grass. So perhaps Hauger has an issue. Will he come into pit lane? No, he won't. So now, can Crawford break away? He's got an 0.8 of a second advantage here from Coitert, so he's going to make this break. He's got to do it now. He's got to push now. We've seen Jack Crawford claim fastest lap of the race more than any other driver today, so let's see if he can make the break here. Let's get a replay of what happened. So, we're looking back at Konsta Lapalainen, the Finn, number 10 there, on the bottom left of your screen, and whoop, has a spin coming out of turn 1. Has to do a nice little flip turn there. Oh dear, he may well get a post-race penalty for that, for the Formula Regional European driver. Not a safe re-entry by any stretch of the imagination. So, Crawford versus Coitert, USA versus the Netherlands. Let's see what's gonna happen here. I mean, Jack Crawford has been the standout driver of this race for me, and he's under pressure from Coitert. Bear in mind that Coitert did lead this race but made a mistake. Jack Crawford's the only driver who's really kind of kept it on the straight and narrow. As you can see from our SDK Gaming top track map in the top right hand side of your screen, you can see that there's a good gap now in the track, so they've got clear air to the end of the race as it stands right now. Nice clear air. That's what you want to see when you're out front leading this race. And look at all those quick sectors from Crawford. But it's Coitert who's faster. Coitert just snipped just 1/10 of a second from the American there, and Hauger has seemed to have. He's managed to recover after that contact there on the previous lap, and Hauger's still a factor in this race despite that contact coming up on the exit of the hairpin bend there. Great stuff. This has been an excellent battle here at Zandvoort, at one of the old school circuits of Europe. Of course, Zandvoort circuit was where the legendary Jim Clark had his first ever Formula One Grand Prix. He ended up competing the race for Lotus, but we'll come back to that in just a second. Looking at Jose Garfias, the Mexican, number 99, coming round the hairpin here. Whoa, loses it big style coming round the hairpin. Oh, and gets really stuck on the apex here. Oh, dearie me. But manages to get going. Yes, back in 1960, this was where Jim Clark, the Scot and double world champion, had his first Formula One experience. And in fact, he turned up, signed to race for Aston Martin. But Aston Martin didn't have his car ready. So in fact, he was then picked up by the Lotus factory. And of course, the rest is history. He raced for Lotus for the remainder of his career. And that happened here at Zandvoort. It was a very happy hunting ground for Jim Clark with many, many victories. So, we're just losing our TV picture here. Apologies, folks. Sam Coitert in second place, now 0.8 of a second behind. So Crawford's really been able to put a little bit of time here into the Dutchman as they head through turn 1, and we're back on. So Dennis Hauger, number 6, the Norwegian, he's right there behind Coitert. We know it looks like this is going to be our podium 3 drivers here, but who's going to win this race? My money's on Crawford. I know that's easy for me to say, seeing him out front, but he's the only one not to have made a mistake so far. He's out there driving smoothly, driving consistently, and putting in some brilliant fast laps. So, round we go then. Round that really tricky, nasty left-hander here, coming into the final section of the track now, up the gearbox, and then into this blind braking zone where you've just got to trust your entry point here. Good thing about these Dallara F3 cars, or any single-seater cars, is you can get a good look at the tyres. Now look at that, Hauger goes onto the grass there, he just outbraked himself, nearly ran into Coitert and had to take evasive action. That could be decisive because Hauger may have lost the toe here. The toe is something that is so important with any form of racing, but particularly with these Formula 3 cars. We'll just have a look at Dennis Hauger, and whoa, nearly runs straight into the back of Coitert, and that would have ended both of their races if he had made that contact. He did very well, A, to avoid the contact, and B, to not actually lose even that much time. So good presence of mind there from the Norwegian. So the slipstream, or the toe, or the draft as it's often referred to, is such a crucial part of Formula 3 racing, where it means that the car in front of you is basically punching a big hole in the air, which lowers the air resistance of being applied to your car. So your car can travel faster than the car in front. And we see it's a crucial part of staying in touch with the leading car. So usually it begins to take an effect from about half a second gap or under, which, as you can see, Coitert is right on that cusp right now with Crawford. So Crawford and Coitert, yeah, it's about 0.7 of a second. So Coitert really needs to pull out some pace here to be able to get the toe and to be able to get right onto the back wheel of Crawford in the 52 car. So down they go into this final section here, using lots and lots of curb in that final part there. Jack Crawford, the number 52, Italian F4, and ADAC F4 as well. That's German Formula 4 racing. So one category below the cars that we are using today, the Dallara Formula 3 chassis. Very sophisticated pieces of kit, these, obviously constructed from carbon fibre, and incredibly safe as well for an open cockpit racing car. So Coitert again just nipping 0.04 of a second there out of 0.04 of a second there out of Crawford, but then Crawford nips it straight back again in sector 1. So this is an intriguing battle. Jack Crawford driving absolutely beautifully here at Zandvoort. Very, very impressive indeed as we head through this amazing big commitment right-hander there. Fastest lap of his race, Saucy, the Swiss driver, with a 129.7, so about 0.8 of a second off the ultimate pace of these drivers, and actually nearly a second off the ultimate pace of Jack Crawford, who holds our fastest lap of the race. Now look at Hauger. Hauger 0.8 of a second behind Coitert, who is in turn 0.8 of a second behind Crawford. So really, that's Hauger has definitely lost the toe here, and he's really going to have to push very, very hard to get back on to the case of these two leading men. 28 minutes down of this 30 minute race. Fantastic stuff. 19 laps so far complete as we're about to come on to lap 20 as they come over the start-finish line. Let's see what the pace has been like here. So replay again of Dennis Hauger using a lot of curb there on entry onto the sand. Oh, and loses it. So that's Dennis Hauger. Whoa, goodness me, does well to keep that out of the barrier. And look at that, 2-3 cars streaming by. What a shame for the former race leader Dennis Hauger. What a pity. So that promotes Joey Alders, the Formula 3 Asia driver, another Dutchman making his way up onto the podium positions. He is in third position, and he's got a little bit of lap traffic to deal with here, but shouldn't be too much of a fuss. Of course, for lap traffic here, so cars that are on the lap behind the leading cars, they will be given a blue flag. So the blue flag will illuminate in the top left-hand side of the driver's screen, which warns them that there is a faster car coming up behind them on a lap or two ahead. So at that point, the driver must move over and allow the faster cars through. It's a common principle in motorsport, but blue flag discipline is sometimes something that can really decide races, particularly in the sim racing world. So back towards the front then, Kuitert, the leading Dutchman, but only by one spot, of course, right behind Crawford. But Crawford just managing this race so well. Looks like we're going to get 1 or 2 more laps. We'll keep you up to date on that when the white flag comes out. So we've reached the end of the time here as we're on lap 21. So we'll wait for the white flag signal here at Zandvoort. Round they go then, round the opening sector, through the hairpin. Really important to get a good exit out there. That's where we saw Hauger run into problems. Who's back now in 9th position. Just an update on Horston as well, the man from down under. He is in 7th place after that. Bart Horston, the number 50 driver. Bear in mind, he was leading the race but went all the way back to 12th. But he's had a brilliant recovery drive back to 7th position. So not what he would have wanted, but a good recovery drive nonetheless. Still Jack Crawford out in front. What can you say about this man, the number 52? He's been flawless. The Zandvoort circuit is a really tricky circuit. Lots of easy mistakes to make, as we've seen from, bearing in mind, this is the cream of the crop, rising stars in single-seater racing, and we've seen a lot of mistakes, but not from the American, the number 52. Heading round the final double right-hander, really big commitment corner there. Up the gearbox as they go round that corner as we head towards, and looks like we're going to get our checkered flag here for the number 52. Yes, Jack Crawford wins this. Oh, huge accident there. That's the number 15 of Kai Askey. Wow, that is a massive accident there in the final bend. Almost taking away from Jack Crawford there. And Joey Alders, whoa, Joey Alders completes the second and third, both Dutchmen there, Kuitert and Alders, rounding out the podium. Looks like we're going to get a replay of this final incident. Kai Askey there in the number 15 car, pushing really hard, gets one wheel on the curb there. What happens here? And it's one of the slower traffic. Just gets hit by a back marker there who's going slow in the middle of the track. What on the last corner? What a pity. He's got one wheel on his wagon there. Oh, that is really hard luck. So, Crawford, your winner then, the American here at the wonderful Zandvoort circuit. Jack Crawford, your winner, with Sam Kuitert in second and Alders in third. What a fantastic race here at Zandvoort with these Formula 3 cars. We'll be right back after a short break. We'll just summarise this wonderful race here live on Apex Racing TV in the Formula Drivers Challenge. So your winner, just to confirm, Jack Crawford, the number 52, winning by over 7/10 of a second from Sam Coiter, the Dutchman, in the number 28 car. Rounding out the podium was Julie Alders, the number 23, nearly 9.2 seconds back. In fourth was Victor Anderson, fifth Alexei Nezov, sixth Bart Horston, and seventh, we've lost the screen. Seventh, Kai Askey. So Kai Askey getting over the line after that unfortunate incident in the final lap. Eighth is Gregor Saucy. Ninth, Dennis Hauger, our former leader. 10th is Quinlan Lal. 11th is Jose Garfias. 12th is Olivier Goat. 13th, Pierre-Louis Chauvet. 14th, Guilherme Oliveira. 15th, Philippe Augran. 16th, Consta Lapalainen. 17th, Bruno Carneiro, and 18th, Isaac Blomqvist. Do you want me to sign off? So thank you so much for tuning in to this live broadcast here on Apex Racing TV. I've been Peter Mackay. Thanks so much in production to Frederick Neitel, who has done a great job with all the cameras and overlay that you see on the screen. We look forward to welcome you to one of our upcoming broadcasts. You can check all of these out on apexracingtv.com or go on to our YouTube channel, which is Apex Racing TV. Thanks so much for watching, and a very good evening to you.